Hi, good morning, everyone. How's everyone on this fine Sunday? Hi, I'm Gary. In case you're, wondering who I am, and so this is my Alvin and the Bradys. This is episode 12, and we're gonna, we're gonna we're gonna get into, comparing episodes now. So one of the things I noticed, with both of these television series is the concept of boys versus girls, or girls versus boys. You know what I'm saying. I first saw, that there's that movie, The Chipmunk Adventure. They had it was, so it, I first, saw the boys versus girls concept. You know, so basically, that's, you know, they had like a, they had like, Alvin and Brittany were playing an arcade game. I think it was like Around the World, where, they couldn't, where they had to get their hot air balloon around the world. And they actually did it for real, you know. But Alvin was, he was kind of a sore loser about that, and with the hot air balloon. But with the video game at the, at the cafe, at the very beginning of the movie, he lost, he lost the, he lost the game and Brittany won, so he was, kind of a sore loser about that, and so, there were several episodes of, the 80s series of Alvin and the Chipmunks that did, depict the boys versus girls, the battle of the sexes. So yeah, like, there's a, and in fact, there were, Alvin and the Chipmunks, the 80s series might have been, the first, in I actually thought it was, the first TV series to feature, the concept of, the battle of the different genders, boys versus girls, but, it was actually the Brady Bunch that showed this concept, so, and, one of the first episodes, they were, fighting over, they had like a little shed in their backyard, and there was only one available, so they, had to share it, and sometimes, and Marsha, Jan, and Cindy would like girl it up, put dolls in it, and stuff, and the boys didn't, really like this, so, you know, it was kind of a, they got mad about it, and, they would, they got mad about it, like Cindy would start wearing Bobby's Indian costume, I think, in that episode, too, and, Yeah, it was called A Clubhouse Is Not a Home. It didn't really have a very happy ending either. That was one of, that aired in the first season, and that was, one of the few Brady Bunch episodes that, didn't really have a happy ending, but because, because it was, boys versus girls, and Mike and Carol started, like Mike hurt Carol's feelings in that episode too, about, I don't know, like boys' locker rooms and girls' clubhouses, So that was basically, this was basically the first TV show to conceive that concept. And, not every episode of the Alvin and the Chipmunks, like the 80s series, featured the Chipettes. So, most of them, it was just, the three Chipmunks and Dave. So, even then, the Chipettes didn't start appearing as regular characters until the second season of the 80s series. So, they just appeared. That they were actually they only made 2 appearances in the first season. So, the very first episode where they first met each other. But actually, unlike the first episode of the very first episode of the Brady Bunch, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore didn't know Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor until that. But the first episode of the Brady Bunch, they all knew each other, so the Chipettes, they were never really main characters, but all 6 of the Brady kids were main characters. And, that was. I'll get to a later video why that was disappointing for me. So, yeah. But, there were several. But, when the Chipettes did appear with, the Chipmunks, which was usually the case, they usually did, have boys versus girls contests in those episodes. So, and anyway, in fact, there's actually, an episode where, in fact, one of the very first one of the first season episodes, both Greg and Marcia, they're competing for class president. They're actually running against each other, both sides of the Brady family. And in season 1 of the 80s series, both Alvin and Brittany are both competing for class president. The episode was called Vote for Brady in the Brady Bunch, and just like that, Alvin and Brittany compete for class president. Of course, they're not living together, but they live together. So yeah, that was, one of the first episodes, and both Marsha cried in this episode, and Brittany cried in this episode. But Marsha didn't, you know, Marsha didn't actually lose the election yet when she cried. It's because she thought Greg sabotaged her like campaign posters and stuff like that, and Greg got mad because he thought she sabotaged his his recording tape, and you know but Brittany actually in this episode Brittany actually cried because she actually lost the election because her sister Jeanette voted for Alvin instead of Brittany. But both episodes are very similar. Because both, Alvin and Brittany were running against each other, and both, Greg and Marsha were running against each other for class president. So, those are, that's one of the very first episode that shows, the similarities between both series. On that. Yeah. And, of course, Marsha was wearing, the red vest with the white shirt and the gray mini skirt and the red knee socks and the black shoes. And, that outfit really turned me on. So, yeah, so that was one of the very first episodes that was, similar to, So yeah, Alvin and Brittany do kind of, I can see, who Greg and Marsha. I can see them both as Greg and Marsha, but, he seems to be a little more of a sore loser than Greg was, so. Anyway, that's about it. So this is, we're going to be, comparing episodes, and, there's a lot of, detail. But that was the first episode. So, that's it for this first video, so. Thanks.